Welcome to another edition of the Digicel Sports Show right here on Islandstats.com. I'm your host, Earl Baston, and joining me yet again is Jason Juggling J. I say it again, Juggling J. Ford. Jay, a lot to talk about on Sunday. Kamal Levrock drafted into the Canadian 2020 League. Mm-hmm. He's going to be playing with some big name players.
One of my favorite players.
Earl Baston. We're going to talk a little bit about league cricket, local cricket. Mm-hmm. The Bermuda Football Association and the Bermuda Football Coaches Association held a course. Some 40-odd people getting the D license, which is a requirement, come September for anyone coaching kids, beginners, all that. We got an opportunity. Unfortunately, the netball courts were damaged yet again. But the good thing is, earlier tonight, they actually played summer league games. So the department have had the opportunity to get everything cleared off. So the good thing is they're back in action. But we do want to get the interview with the president, who was highly upset on Friday after learning that Thursday night games were played and then this happened overnight. So we also had an interview with Caitlin Bob, who her mother, Donette Bob, represented Bermuda at the 1992 Olympics in Spain. Sprinter. Like mother, like daughter. Yeah. And of course, yesterday morning, the under-17 girls departed, headed for IMG. They will play USA tomorrow night, Wednesday night. And we want to wish them all the best. But we're going to get to all of this and more after this message from our sponsor.
You may have heard Digicel is bringing the only true fiber-to-the-home network to Bermuda. But what does that mean? Fiber to the home is the fastest and most reliable way to access the internet. And with Digicel's fiber internet, the fiber goes all the way into your house. It doesn't just stop at the street. That means you get consistently fast speeds you can rely on. Think of it as a brand new internet highway that goes all the way into your home or office, and you can be one of the first to enjoy it. Visit digicelbermuda.com/fiber to register your interest in Bermuda's only true fiber to...
Well, Jay, big shoes now to fill for Kamal Levrock, as he is Bermuda's first ever player drafted into a 2020 international tournament. He will be on the same side as, you name him.
Chris Gayle.
Oh, yeah. Hard-hitting Chris Gayle. Now, you've seen Kamal bat, and obviously you've seen Chris Gayle bat. Mm-hmm. Imagine those two opening and getting off.
Very similar to, when I say very similar, the strike zones.
Yes.
And when we start talking about players, you see a lot when it comes to technology, when it comes to baseball or something, where players love the ball, what area they love the ball, and really get the most power.
Both of them left-handed.
And the strike, that power zone is around the same thing. They clear that right foot.
Yeah.
And
once it's in the spot,
it's got to hit anywhere close. It's damaging. But Earl, I'm sort of mad at you because you've been in contact with Kamal Levrock even when he talked about pulling back from the commitment of playing for the national squad. And I'm pretty sure you had this on the horizon and just waited for the
had to wait. You have to wait
for the
you have to wait
to go through. But no, it's not even just a wonderful opportunity. It's a chance of a lifetime, and it's not just Chris Gayle. It's Andre Russell.
Yes,
I mean, what about different if once upon a time, and I say once upon a time because let's go back to the days with Noel Gibbons.
Playing with the World Select.
Yes. Well, this is almost like that because even playing with the World Select at the time, a lot of those players had gone across their prime.
Right.
Even though some great names, that we all looked up to, but most of them had gone across the prime.
Right.
This is where these players are still in the prime.
Yes.
And the opportunity to play, and not even if he doesn't play, the opportunity to be around those guys.
That's right.
To seep up that.
It'll be 3 weeks of gathering information day in and day out, morning, noon, and night.
And you also got to remember, and we're in media, because obviously we're doing media. Canada has one of the best media centers when it comes to gathering information, doing stories, the whole nine. They put us so just profiling Kamal. His profile will grow so much after this tournament. I will be surprised if he doesn't get picked up for another tournament right after, even if he doesn't play.
Right. Yeah.
Because the profile, see, when we look at and maybe try to get information about players, we gotta search for different clubs, the websites, this, that, and the other. The profile that they're gonna have of Kamal leading into the first game, they will have profiles of every player prior to this tournament. So that in itself, it's something that hopefully, and that's the thing that we probably have to wait to see, is who's going to have the broadcasting rights.
Canada's been working on this for the last 3 years.
Will it be shown in the region? Will it be shown just via stream?
More announcements are due to come out this week.
I think if Canada has gotten this far, it's going to be something that we'll be able to see.
I'm pretty sure ESPN's knocking on the door.
Yeah, ESPN. Somebody's going to be knocking on the door. I can't see Canada, as you say, come halfway for that.
Yeah. There's too many big names that they've gotten in this, involved in this. Too many big
names, so those salaries have, and we're talking about it, those salaries have to be paid. The only way these salaries can be paid is via sponsorship.
Right.
Via sponsorship, these sponsors want coverage. Not only coverage locally, but they want it nationally. Nationally, they want it across the globe. So these are the things that I'm waiting for more information. Sort of still mad at you, but I guess I'll get over it.
Well, I got a chance to talk to Kamal about the draw and how much of a surprise it was that he got drafted. Let's get the interview with Kamal Levrock. You can be mad all you want. You were drafted by the Vancouver team in the Canadian 2020. You put your name in the hat just to see what will happen. Were you surprised that you were drawn?
Yeah, I was very surprised. One of my mates sent me the link to register, and I just thought to myself, I guess I'll put my name in the hat to see what comes out of it. Wasn't really expecting much, but I'm glad I did. And the fact that you got drawn alongside some big name players only makes it even more special. Is it something you're looking forward to now? Yeah, it is. I'm looking forward to it a lot. There's a lot of knowledge to be gained from these players, these top players who've played the game for quite some time now, and I'm itching to get out there. Now, have you been in touch with the club to see when you would arrive and what's on the schedule? No, I haven't. I'm waiting on confirmation through email to see what the deal is. I do have contact details for the coach, so I may ask him next day or so. I'm just still trying to focus on what I have to be in Nottingham's second team. Well, you had a game today. You're a bit under the weather with a bit of allergy, but talk us through how this weekend has been, because being selected in a draft, and I believe you will be one of the first Bermudians to play in a 2020 draft-picked professional event like this. I played last week, did a right out good. On Saturday, I found out that the draft was on the Sunday, but I also realized that I had a National Cup game on the Sunday, so obviously I was going to miss the draft. But Saturday, I've been struggling bowling lately since I got back, but Saturday I started bowling very well. Sunday bowled alright as well. And when I got off the field, I had a million notifications from people in WhatsApp letting me know and stuff like that, congratulating me, and I just kind of sat in the change room, kind of already happy from winning other two games in the weekend, just excited that I got drafted. Now, you've played in Canada, so the wickets are something that you're used to. Is it to your liking? Yeah, I'm not too sure about where the games will be played, but yeah, Canadian wickets tend to be quite good around this time, with the sun and stuff. They leave a lot of grass on it, so there's a lot of pace and carry. The ball coming onto the bat quite nicely, so it should be an interesting tournament to see these are very good bowlers and very good batsmen going at it. Now, in today's match, you bowled 10 overs. You took one for, I believe, 47. You guys were set a target. What was the thoughts going into bat as far as trying to overtake the score? It was quite a good wicket, actually, to play. We had restricted them well. I think they got 252, which is below par. But we just set ourselves small targets of getting 50 and losing less than 2 wickets in the first power play. And one of the lads ran out there and played a very, very good innings. So we were 70 for none off the power play. So just put us ahead, and after that was kind of just cruising.
Now, how close do you feel you are away from being at your ultimate best in order to knock on that door for the Notts first team?
It's quite a long process to get into the Nottingham first team or any first team. But I keep having chats with the second team coach just to get an idea of where I am in my game and where I should be. And he says, he's giving me some positive feedback, so I could just take that on and keep learning and going from there.
You may have heard Digicel is bringing the only true fiber to the home network to Bermuda. But what does that mean? Fiber to the home is the fastest and most reliable way to access the internet. And with Digicel's fiber internet, the fiber goes all the way into your house. It doesn't just stop at the street. That means you get consistently fast speeds you can rely on. Think of it as a brand new internet highway that goes all the way into your home or office, and you can be one of the first to enjoy it. Visit digicelbermuda.com/fiber to register your interest in Bermuda's only true fiber to the home network.
Still me?
Of course. But Earl, I'm just listening to the conversation. But just thinking about, I like to tell young players and just even anybody in my industry, every time you step on a stage, you never know who is watching.
So true.
And this wasn't put forward by any local coaches.
No.
Any local organizations.
His numbers and his activity in the region and over in England
and to know a Jamaican coach had some influence. That in itself, you know how much talent that comes just out of the Jamaican local teams.
Right.
So to know that a Jamaican coach put his name, put some influence behind it, it's definitely refreshing because, like I said, you never know who's watching and who's taking note.
Yeah, without a doubt. Well, let's turn our attention a little bit to local cricket. St. David's Cricket Club on Sunday remained the only undefeated team in the Premier Division. It's the most runs Western Stars have scored.
Yeah, by the way, it could have been.
Yeah.
At one point in time, it was looking a little iffy.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean.
Yes.
Yeah. But you said it on the previous show that pretty much 2 or 3 more wins for St. David's in the league is wrapped up.
Yeah.
I think Southampton Rangers with their win over St. George's on Sunday puts a little pressure on them because they have 1 loss. And that 1 loss came to St. David's. So it kind of, it's still not there, but St. David's plays St. George's this coming Sunday. Or this weekend. Is it this weekend? I believe it is. Or next weekend. Whenever. But
to be honest with you, I thought St. David's plays Rangers.
This weekend?
Up at Rangers.
But we'll have that confirmed on Thursday.
Up at Rangers.
Yeah. But that would be the decider, I would imagine, because if St. David's could win that one, it kind of puts a big gap. Now, even if St. George's bounce back and they go 4-1, because that's going to be the key. Who ends up right behind them? And
well, I got to see this in Georgia's game versus Rangers, and that 3 win. I don't want to say it was fool's gold,
right?
Because I did mention it the last show, because out of the 3 games they played at Somerset, very young squad.
Right.
Western Stars, very young squad. He was struggling to field 11. But do they have some talent there? So just give me, obviously you covered it. But realistically, they got 4 or 5 players.
Yeah.
And once you get across that, that's it.
And that's the problem that St. George's will face.
And it was proven.
Yeah.
It was proven against Southampton Rangers. And to be honest with you, I haven't seen much difference. We talked about Makai Simmons last year when it came to captain, especially for cup match. Compared to what I saw with Southampton Rangers with Deion Stovall and Gennaro Tucker.
Right.
They had a game plan, and I know St. George obviously had a game plan.
Right.
But you could see them executing it. And the players.
But that's what we talked about.
Buying in.
Right. That's what we talked about on Thursday.
And I haven't seen that with Makai yet. The buy-in for making decisions or the buy-in,
right.
even if it's taking a chance.
Yeah.
Haven't seen that yet. Now, is it a game that I haven't seen has done it? Maybe.
Right.
I just personally, I haven't seen it. And when you see it so evident on the other side, it really rings out.
Yeah. Yeah.
It really rings out.
Yeah.
Even though Southampton Rangers they played a few youngsters too. And I'll be honest with you, Earl, I was very, very, very impressed with Nairobi Mills. I don't think he picked up any wickets, but he had a little pace with that.
Yeah,
and
it's
actually, he hit Treddy. And
right.
He got one to get up in him, and you know you know what Treddy wanted to do afterwards.
Oh yeah, sure.
But no, to see these couple of youngsters, and you know, we were wondering if some of these youngsters going up to Rangers, will they number one get in the squad? Will they be allowed to, you know, instead of just being an 11, will they be allowed to shine?
Right.
And that's one thing we've noticed that Rangers have allowed these youngsters to actually
come in
and show your worth.
Yeah.
Rangers have, when you look at the top 6 batsmen, just think now, if they do not win this league, I'll be honest with you, if they don't win this league, they're going to look back in the first game of the year when Malachi walked off and didn't come back.
Right.
Because St. Davis still has a decent bowling line. Even Bayless Bay has a decent.
Right.
But if you look at Southampton Rangers, just go now, opening up, Shannon Raynor, Malachi Jones, we know either one could get off and could decorate the scoreboard.
Right.
If they both get off, which they happened not this week but last week,
right,
it could be 100 runs before anybody blinks.
Right.
Now you're following that with Trey Mathis.
Who could be a steady or a driving force. He could change gears.
This week was his week to make some runs, 70 odd, and he's looking obviously getting ready for cup match.
Right.
Okay. After that, wow, you can pick, choose, and refuse. Ricardo Brangman, who's made runs throughout the year.
Yeah.
But they ain't Gennaro Tucker.
Deion Stovall.
Yeah. So
they have a potent lineup coming 1 through 7 or 8. Yeah. That any one of them can change the game.
And the only thing, and I was wondering even if the fitness would hamper some of these older players, but they actually look pretty decent regarding.
To be honest, Jay, the older players play smart. They literally play smart. They don't overexert themselves because they know that they're needed in other areas. So where you would say get done, nah, I'll let that one go. We'll give up a single.
So, and you're absolutely right, because now, like, I'll go back to the captaincy. These older players were made sure they were put in the field, when they fielded out, in positions that they could be helpful.
Yeah.
Not
exposed. Yeah. But that's when you have players of that caliber in your team, and you have other players that complement those players.
I was watching some of St. George's weaker players. They were talking bowling at the death, so you want the guy to build him pitched up, and the batsman be basically hitting straight. But you got some of your weaker players on the long on bowling.
Well, early in the game.
So I'm saying something's not.
Yeah, early in the game they were making those adjustments. But I'm pretty sure as guys get tired, they're looking at the scoreboard. Heads are dropping because you're looking at 240, 200. I'll wait her.
But I will tell you this, Earl. I will tell you this because you're a man blue and blue. Forever. I will tell you this. It has sparked some interest around the club with that 3-0.
Oh, yeah.
And to see some people come out and talk about the team and, now the day did not end good for them at all.
No.
Right? But to hear some of the talk around the team and, I even asked you, last year, is it too early to start talking about cup match? But obviously when I went Sunday, I started hearing noises and who could this be and who could come in. And I tell you though, I got to see Charles Trott. And I think he built and I was actually surprised because of Malachi actually coming off a few paces. Last year, the last couple of years, but definitely last year, when he played for Bailey's Bay, he did a lot of soft seam.
Yes.
He only basically revved it up a couple of weeks prior to cup match.
County Cup and Cup match.
Yeah.
That's where he came off for the
But for the most part
in the league,
he was a soft and even building some spin. Quality.
So Malachi is one of those players can turn it on and turn it off when he feels like it.
Yeah.
When the mood's there.
Yeah.
He's very temperamental, almost exactly like a Treddy.
Yes.
If things are going good for him, trust me, he's going to be on top of the game.
Yeah.
If one thing goes bad, man, it could go downhill really, really fast. And that's the unfortunate thing. You want players in your team that are like that, but they also have to learn how to control that because it affects the team in and around you. You know what I mean? And all it is maturing just a little bit.
Now, I'm going to go back to Charles Trott because this was a name that was talked about, probably should have been in St. George's team last year. I'm pretty sure, and I heard obviously the bank or the club talking very highly of him to come St. George's, the Hill 9. But from what I saw, Earl, I don't think Charles is there yet, and I'll tell you why. St. George's is looking for an impactful bowler. That's not Charles at the moment. If the day has some swing, he could be menacing. He's not quick enough to be intimidating at all.
Right.
I was just probably a quick medium maybe. We know that some wicket's not going to do much.
No. You must play on him.
So he's not going to get much movement off the wicket. And I thought about this when I was watching it. It might have been a disadvantage of Charles Trott going to play for Rangers. Why do I say that? Well, who's some of the top batsmen for Rangers? Who they play for? Somerset. Who does he train for? Who does he play for?
Right.
So they will know so much information about Charles to pass on to their team.
Right. Right.
And if you give someone like Dion Stone and these guys that type of information,
right, they use it against you. The one thing I would say,
do St. George's needs him? Yes.
He really impressed a lot of people with his performances at the international level.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Now, it's a little different.
Well, let's think about it. Let's just off of that. Most of those players have probably only seen him once. Or it may have been their first time seeing him.
Right.
We're going to talk about players who see it every week.
Yeah.
No different.
A lot different.
Is it useful? Yes. Obviously, can hold a bat. Didn't look that good yesterday either, the bat, but he's been able to hold the bat up.
Right.
So, from what St. George has been able to throw out through the last couple of years, he could definitely be in the runnings. But like I said, it was something that struck me as like, okay, he's playing with the guys and they know his ins and outs. They know his good ball, they know his bad ball, they know what he does, they know when he gets tired, what he does. All these different things. And even if Jannard Tucker being retired from Cup match, he's still in the setup, coaching setup. And to be honest with you, Earl, I won't be surprised about Mr. Tucker. I'll leave it at that. And you know where I'm going.
Yeah, I know where you're going.
Because he's still, I don't know with this injury he had, but he was snapping around the field. You know, his field and bowls. I'm saying this is definitely his snapping them up. Bowled well. I think 5 overs, or maybe 12.
Right,
got a wicket or 2. Batting with the youngsters and bat out the overs.
Yeah.
So just then in itself, you know what that means.
Because that 53 not out was more of let's demoralize these guys and make sure they stay out here for the 50 overs. And that's what he done.
St. George's should have knocked Rangers off about 170, 180 runs.
Right.
Should have.
But when you got experience at one end, talking to youngsters at the other, just do this. Let's not try to do. Let's just do this. And Jannard is the type of player that could motivate anybody at the opposite end to just hang around. Even if you don't have to hang around, just stay here with me.
Let me get done.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely impressed. And we talked about it. Once again, Rangers batting out the whole
50 overs, yeah. Kudos to, because a lot of teams are batting out the 50 overs, Jay.
Like I
and
said,
a lot of people were upset with that league. I
tell you that's
a year ago.
Remember, I tell you that's gonna be the talent point for me.
Yeah, and so far,
it's on point.
Yeah.
And just very quickly, once that innings finished, I dashed over to St. David's to see the completion of St. David's innings.
Right.
And at the time when I got the score running, I said, hey, St. David's in trouble against Western Stars.
Trouble, Western Stars, those things ain't going together this season.
Put it this way, I put a little gas in my tank because they were struggling to get 200 runs. So I get there, and it was a little miniature player. I had to be a junior. I was like, okay. Then I saw Arthur Pitcher Jr. I'm like, okay. Then I looked at the scoreboard, it's 9 out. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But they put on maybe, I want to say maybe 40 runs. 40 runs, 50 runs.
Right.
And come to learn these youngsters, Onai Smith, 14 years old, and he plays for the juniors, but looks the part. He played a master. He played a role that guys 10, 20 years his senior
struggle to do.
Yeah. Struggle to do.
Done the simple thing.
When it was a chance for him to get a little single, to get Boy on strike, he did it.
Yeah.
He ran the first one hard, looking to see if he wants to come again. All the things that you expect for a youngster. And he batted. I was surprised, but he batted. I want to say he batted number 8. He came in before Rudolph Pitcher.
Okay.
And Arthur Pitcher Jr.
Wow.
Which I was actually surprised. I thought he was.
Let the youngster show you how to do it.
Well, I thought he was the number 11. When I looked at the scorecard, I'm like, okay, no, it was him.
Yeah.
So even though he scored 11, I felt so bad for this youngster Earl because he got out on the last bowl of the innings.
Right.
And I was like, man, first of all, you don't get the bonus points now.
Right.
But you saw the respect even with the Western Stars players because even though he only scored 11 runs, he got so many daps or so many handshakes from the Western Stars players, especially the senior players, who went out and congratulated this young man because how well he played. So, to see, hopefully that he could learn from Allen Douglas Jr. Once again. Looks like he's
97
coming back on form.
Yeah.
At the right time.
Not yet.
Not yet.
No.
So it's gonna be interesting.
But for St. David's, it's the right time.
It's right, exactly. Yeah. And it's needed. I mean, they really there's been some inconsistencies with the batting.
Yeah.
But
again, somebody in the team always seems to pick it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that's the great thing with Allen. He has that
Ability.
gear.
Yeah.
That gear. I mean, we keep talking about match winners. He's definitely a match winner. So, for them to knock down Stars, I'd be for 150 or
151.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Not surprising because obviously they have the likes of George, CJ, Kevin Hurdle.
Right.
These guys that they can, on the day, they can do damage.
Yeah.
But to see Western Stars now, if they're able to keep these youngsters around, Earl,
That's the key.
that's the main thing. Because they've got some good guys like Justin
Robinson.
Jacunder. They've got some guys around that have a wealth of knowledge. Obviously, the coach Arnold Mendes. If they have these young guys just hang around for a few years.
Well, a bunch of those youngsters have the names of the club.
So
and you start talking Campbell, Manders.
But still, Earl, nowadays, once upon a time, we're going to say these guys will never be in the club.
But I think
we all know those days are long gone.
But I think the difference is they are the kids of these guys who are entrenched in that club.
Yeah, but some of those same names you that's fathers. Been playing for other clubs too.
Oh yeah. But they see the club in deep trouble.
Yeah,
now.
they can.
They see their club in deep trouble.
Yeah.
And to be honest, if they're not careful, that club might not have a team. Because if you start talking Sunday they only had 10 men.
10 men, and that was including Neil and Steve, which is
Yeah. So there lies a serious problem.
Well, Earl, this is not a problem that just happened.
Oh no.
Randall Smith had this problem, and there was a problem before Randall Smith got
Yeah.
So we're talking 3 years maybe. We've had
And if, like I said, if it continues, then what? You don't have it.
But the good thing is, it's still this. Besides Brian Hall, realistically, it's still been the same nucleus of guys.
Yeah.
So yes, they are young, but also they have been playing senior cricket now probably for about 2-3 years.
Right.
So every year going forward, they're going to get a little bit more experience.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be easier for them going forward if they stay
together. Yeah.
If they stay.
Yeah.
Now, before we get off of cricket, I know because obviously we have to wrap up with something. I do want to highlight one team over the weekend, a first division team, Flats.
Oh yeah.
Because we normally don't talk about Flats.
300 runs on the National Sports Center wicket that everybody deemed totally unfit. They turned around the next day and scored 209 at PAC. That's 500 odd runs in 2 games. Going to March. You had Nelson Bascom taking 4 wickets on Saturday, 4 wickets on Sunday. Reggie Baker scoring 74 on Saturday, 63 on Sunday. Dejan Carey scoring 84 on Saturday, 35 on Sunday. So they're standing out.
Like I said, so all you guys from Lion Flats say we never talk about you, this is why. When you give me something to talk about, I will make sure we put it in the show, because when I saw that, I was like, you know what? They had a good weekend. And I expect these guys to come up next year. But more than anything, you know what I'm expecting from you guys? We talked about it. It's going to be interesting because, let's go off of what somebody said from Bailey's Bay, Rodney Trott. If you ain't Connie, everything's forgotten about.
Yeah.
And I hate to say this, but Bailey's Bay has gotten off to a start very similar to last year. It's going to be interesting how they manage their county squad.
You may have heard Digicel is bringing the only true fiber to the home network to Bermuda. But what does that mean? Fiber to the home is the fastest and most reliable way to access the internet. And with Digicel's fiber internet, the fiber goes all the way into your house. It doesn't just stop at the street. That means you'll get consistently fast speeds you can rely on. Think of it as a brand new internet highway that goes all the way into your home or office. and you can be one of the first to enjoy it. Visit digicelbermuda.com/fiber to register your interest in Bermuda's only true fiber to the home network.
Well, last weekend, the Bermuda Football Association and the Bermuda Football Coaches Association held a D-license course, and that's to get parents, teachers, coaches, all up to scratch with a D-license in order to help our youngsters. But we had a press conference prior to the course. Let's get the interview with Mark Reid, the president of the Bermuda Football Association, Richard Todd, the president of the Bermuda Football Coaches Association, and Maurice Lowe, the technical director of the Bermuda Football Association. Enlighten us on what this particular course is for, and then we'll get into the defined things of it.
Okay, so the Intro to Coaching course is a new initiative. It is geared towards those individuals who have no prior coaching education training. So that could be existing coaches who have been coaching without coaching education, parents, PE teachers, anybody who's interested to begin moving down the pathway and moving forward and gain a little bit more insight into the mythology of coaching.
Now, Mr. President, for the Bermuda Football Association, come September, a lot of policies come into effect as far as coaching education and coaching licenses. You have this as a starting base that starts this time. Where are we situated as far as having people qualified to the standard of the Bermuda Football Association for come September?
Well, actually, this process has been going on for about 2 years. So it's been a 2-year window where coaches can get the appropriate license for the level of coaching that they want to coach at. So we have 4 levels of coaching license, A, B, C, and D. And that those levels correlate to different levels of football within Bermuda. So all senior coaches, for example, need to have a B license in order to coach. And the D, as Richard has said, the D license, the Bermuda D license is for those coaches who are just starting and are coaching at the what we call children's football level. It's a fantastic step for us to see the amount of coaches who have taken advantage of coach education over the last two years and beyond that. And even now, for coaches who are now gearing themselves to applying for their license and hopefully being able to obtain it.
Maurice, as the technical director for the Bermuda Football Association, the value of having people with a license coaching at club level and at the academy level, how important is that?
The positive ripples of coach education are already being felt in Bermuda football. So this is a continuation of that process, and we're already in an upward trajectory. So this is going to continue to put us in good stead so that we can continue to see good development in our youth football.
Richard, the partnership or collaboration with the Bermuda Football Association and the and the Coaches Association must bode well, because now there's some continuity going forward, as understanding on how together, I guess, you want to move forward.
I think one of the big positives is trying to unify the coaching fraternity, to bring us all together onto the same page, working towards the same goals. But then it also brings us closer together with the goals and the objectives of the association. So the association has outlined the coach licensing policy. As the partnership, it's the mandate of the Bermuda Football Coaches Association to provide those courses by which coaches can attain the proper license levels. So this course that's coming right now, the Intro to Coaching, it's a very diverse pool. We have 40 candidates, which is the maximum for the course. And it will have coaches who have been coaching in the club without prior coaching education. It has players who are looking to make that transition. It will have some parents and team managers who are seeking to gain a little bit more information and insight. So the response has been fantastic. We are at the point of being oversubscribed for this course, and we will offer another course again in August to ensure that every coach has had the opportunity to achieve the required licensing before August 31st deadline that is impacted.
As the president of the Bermuda Football Coaches Association, are you concerned at the number of coaches we have in the C, B, and A section?
I think it's growing. I think that we have a very good number. I mean, this course is piggybacking on the back of the C license, which also has 40 participants ongoing. They will finish their second part of the license in September. We're getting ready at the end of this month, the end of June, to start work again with the Scottish FA and courses on Island that are preparing another set of candidates for the UEFA B license. So the cycle is one that we are continuing to develop and to grow the number of coaches. We're looking forward to it. Again, it's a great initiative for us because this is the first time that we've offered this course. The course was designed by Jacques Cavassier, utilizing the same materials and information that we have with the books. It meets the UEFA standards. And when we did cross-check with regards to the content of the CONCACAF D license, it is very similar, if not the same, in terms of the content. So from that standpoint, I think that we are being able to provide quality coaching education to our local coaches.
Mr. Reid, any provisions that the association are planning to make if the requirements come September are not met by persons trying to coach teams?
Well, at this point, there are no provisions. The deadline is what it is, but certainly the PDC will discuss that idea and see if there's something that we can do to assist.
During the season, is there any way, hypothetically, someone comes in who wants to be involved at a club level, they come here on a work permit but wants to get involved, are there any provisions, Richard, for your organization to quickly get them on board with a license of some sort, just for beginners, or are you just planning to do these two in the summer?
Well, what I would say is that the Bermuda Football Coaches Association is responsible for providing coaching education. Mm-hmm. So we provide the necessary courses. It is the BFA who then qualify the license level of the individual coaches. So there is a pyramid in the scheme that looks at existing experience, licenses that have been obtained outside of Bermuda through other organizations that can qualify a coach here for the criteria of either a D, C, B, or A level. But our mandate is to provide the courses for coaching education. We then put forward those names to the BFA to say that they have completed the required education, and it is the BFA who will then certify them with a license level.
Maurice, in the National Academy setup, would you like to see all coaches obtain, say, an A license?
That's on our mandate now, or coming into effect just with coach licensing. So come September 2018, all National Academy coaches will be licensed at the UEFA B license. So we have quite a number of our academy staff that are on the current B license course that's coming up in June and September and October.
Right. With so much emphasis put on coaching education, can you see, Richard, your organization kind of putting on extra courses? And I say that in all facets because you're doing the C, and they have to finish it. Can we see more of those put in? Because hypothetically, there's 40, and the 40 before that would want to probably in the near future get a C license as well. So,
yeah, there's some minimum requirements between moving along the license pathway. So that's not to say that a coach just comes in and has completed his D license and can immediately just go and enroll within the C license. So there's a minimum requirement to spend at least 1 year back within the club, utilizing that information and developing the skill set. Then a coach can then move forward to the next license level. However, if a coach has been evaluated and assessed to have passed a license with merit and meeting standard, then a recommendation could be given that they can enroll immediately within the next license course. So this is pretty standard with most of the license organizations throughout the world. So the C license, the next C license will be in effect for next March. And so we would have a good pool of candidates who are probably on that border ready to take that next step and move forward. And I know we will have a good number of candidates when we offer the next UEFA in partnership with the Scottish FA. Will be ready to now begin that journey as well. So we're always looking to bring new licenses, more coaching education. This was one of the initiatives of the new administration when we came in during the last AGM. The next step is plans in the works to provide goalkeeping education. So we are exploring that possibility right now with the Scottish FA to offer, in conjunction with the courses that will be on Ireland in September, an opportunity to now start developing the specialists of the UEFA. Then there is ongoing coaching, education, and recertification credits that are required for those who have obtained the UEFA. So it's a continuous cycle. You just don't achieve a license and stop. You have to keep yourself current with new information. There are always special topics that are being presented, and coaches have to recertify themselves in order to have a valid license.
Who's charged with evaluating coaches once they're finished the particular course level? These 40 will go back to their clubs. Who's charged with evaluating to ensure that they're meeting they're accomplishing the things that they were taught or learned during the course?
Sure. So as the intro to coaching course, there is no formal testing because, again, this is an entry into the pathway. There is an assessment of the candidates. Once they go away and then they've had the prerequisite amount of time within the club, they can then feel comfortable enough to apply for the C license. In the C license, there is formal testing that the candidate must go through in order to complete the course and receive that diploma. The same as with the UEFA. The candidates must travel over to Scotland to be assessed by the coach educators from that standpoint. So the mechanism is kind of built in. We are exploring ongoing mentoring possibilities and roles in which we can engage the coaches and keep them active and continue to help them to grow. So we're always looking for those opportunities to be able to provide for our existing members.
Mr. President, how often do you meet with the Coaches Association just to go over some of the things, especially with the National Academy and the Premier and First Division coaches?
But the lines of communication are open in that the Coaches Association actually have a member on the PDC. So that's a continuous line of communication between the two organizations. The Coaches Association is also a full member of the BFA. So that's the lines of communication and working are fully established. And they have carte blanche, really, to the BFA as any other affiliate does.
Are you working on your A? I know you have. Do you have your B?
I do.
So that's the question?
Am I working on my A?
Yeah.
Not at this time.
All right. Anything else, Mr. Todd?
No, I think that's it.
All right.
Just want to emphasize that as a part of coach licensing, that there's also a first aid and child welfare SCARS training component outside of the technical and tactical coaching element that is required in order to get Bermuda Football Association coaching license.
Is that done within the course, or it's done separately from the course?
Separately from the course.
Okay.
Well, however, if there's enough participants that are in need, then we can make a connection for the participants to be able to get that training. So I know the SCARS training is very frequent, and then the first day, if we had sufficient numbers to put in a request, then that'll be.
So the SCARS training the onus is on the individual, or does that?
Well, the Coaches Association will actually work to schedule the SCARS certification and the first aid certification for all of the course candidates who are ongoing right now. So that would be the C license candidates as well as these D license. But many of these coaches will have some of these certifications already because a lot of the clubs have been proactive with regards to ensuring that their coaches are SCARS certified and doing the necessary first aid. So anybody that is deficient, they will have completed the coaching education aspect, but in order to be certified with the licensing, they will need to show that they have completed those two modules to the BFA.
As the president of the Bermuda Football Coaches Association, are you happy with the way things are going right now?
I think this is good for us. It's progress. We continue to move forward. I think that it's a step by step. And as long as that we have the dialogue and you can see the work in partnership and the support between the BFA and the BFCA, like I said, it's bringing the coaches more into the fold, ensuring that the coaches have a voice, because the natural progression is for a coach, once you become a member of the coaching association, is maybe to look to become involved, to move towards becoming a coaching educator, to maybe look to get involved within the administration and the leadership of the association itself. So I think we've made good strides as to where we were within the past few years.
You may have heard Digicel is bringing the only true fiber to the home network to Bermuda. But what does that mean? Fiber to the home is the fastest and most reliable way to access the internet. And with Digicel's fiber internet, the fiber goes all the way into your house. It doesn't just stop at the street. That means you get consistently fast speeds you can rely on. Think of it as a brand new internet highway that goes all the way into your home or office, and you can be one of the first to enjoy it. Visit digicelbermuda.com/fiber to register your interest in Bermuda's only true fiber to the home network.
Well, Jay, after this football, we talk about a bit of depressing stuff, and that is vandalism yet again at the Bernard Park on the netball courts. Paint, beer bottles, frustrating to see. Had an opportunity to speak with the president of the Bermuda Netball Association to talk about just the hardship of what it takes to put on a netball tournament. So let's get the interview with Kamal Evans. Kamal Evans, president of the Bermuda Netball Association. Obviously, we're here again. Upsetting, disappointment, frustration. Would those sum up your feelings today?
That sums them up at the very least.
Yeah.
It's really discouraging for us as the number one sport in Bermuda for females. We have our challenges, as you know, with trying to gain funding and things like that. So we made an attempt to at least give them a court that they can play on that gives them a little bit sense of pride, that makes them feel like they're in a professional environment. And once again, to have someone come by and to damage the courts, obviously, as far as we know, for no reason whatsoever, but other than to probably have a little fun or whatever it might be, it's really, really disheartening.
How does this set you back? The summer league's on now, so obviously it's a bit of a danger if you don't get this paint up, because the courts become even more slippery.
Yes, unfortunately the paint has dried, so we now have to rely on Youth and Sport to get someone to come down and potentially scrub up the paint, maybe really relay some of the asphalt paint surface and then paint over, which is costly. You know, this is something that's having to come out of funds that could be going towards other things. So it's really, really unfortunate, to say the least, and hopefully we can get this expedited quickly. Our leagues are on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and we have been advised that we may have to cancel them for next week, depending on as you know, when they can actually get this work done.
It died off for a little while, and now it's back. What was the talk with the department about the situation prior to this one?
Well, there was talk about putting up cameras and things of that nature, so hopefully that has been done, and we can get some footage off of that to, you know, pinpoint who potentially is the cause of this. Obviously we pleaded with the public to notify Youth Sport Recreation, also the Bermuda Police Service, if they have any idea who, you know, may have been down there, if they saw anyone here. Our leagues kicked off yesterday and finished after 8, so this had to happen sometime between maybe 9 and some hour this morning before we got the call that this had taken place. So yeah, we just encourage the public, if they know of anything or anyone that is the cause of this, to come forward.
All right. It's my turn.
Yeah.
Frustrating, obviously. Disappointing. ask the question, why? What do you get out of it? Is it somebody with a mental problem? We don't know. Is it somebody has a vendetta? We don't know. Is this the first time? This is the second time. So now it's time to put some onus on the caretakers of this area. Okay, I'm just saying that because the Netball Association have done all they can do. Limited resources. They've done all they can do. They get knocked down, they get up, brush themselves off, and go again. Get knocked down, brush yourself off, and go again. Yeah. I don't want to make this a political thing. I don't want to make this a race thing. But Earl Basin, if there's another sport featuring a different color skinned people, and I'm just going to be real with this, and their playing surface was continually vandalized, there'd be more consideration for that not to happen again. Now,
Without a doubt.
we can talk about cameras, we could talk about fans, we could talk about all these things. But until it's done, the money will be found.
Right.
Okay? I don't know what the hold up is. I'm not in these meetings. I'm not privy to these. And I don't want to make it work, but I'm just telling you what I feel. If there's another sport, okay, and we're talking not just, okay, you know what, Earl? Let me throw it out there. Because I think it's fair. We saw money being put at the rink at PCC. Okay? Choose that.
Right.
Now, we didn't see too many young grassroots divisions. We're just talking about adults.
Right.
For the most part. The ball hockey and whatever, right? Because there's no youth leagues and all that yet.
No, they used to have them.
Right, but it's
Right.
still in the growing
Right.
stages.
Right.
If that happened out there, Earl Basin, one time, second time, the third time, do you think we should be having this conversation?
No, you wouldn't.
And I don't know. Like I said, I know there's limited resources. We can keep going over this, but if we could find money, there's too many young ladies involved in this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you would think that is this the number one female sport on our island. Well, I also put that up. The national girls do football. But even after what we saw from our netballs, our national girls. So why they are struggling to get resources to protect not just the home field or let's say the stadium field. That's what they train.
Yeah.
Like
Everything is there. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm starting to. I feel the frustration. You can see it in their eyes because, I even feel guys will keep going down there and clean it up. Like, look, we just cleaned this up.
Yeah.
Probably send the same guys back down there. You guys done a good job. Why don't you go back down and clean it up? And it's. You've got CCTV.
Yeah.
Can we start with that? Can we please start with that? And not next season. Because the rate we're going to chances are this might happen again.
Oh, yeah.
If the culprit hasn't been caught. Is it the same person? It's. I mean, why would you throw buckets of paint Number one, it's expensive. You just got paint lying around.
Getting ready for
Man, no. I'm not getting ready for condoms. I'm not getting ready for. I'm not getting that paint comes on. This paint. Come on. Come on.
But something has to be done. It has to be addressed right away.
Yeah, and I think no, it's okay. You know, 3 strikes. Now look. You know, and like I said, I don't want to throw blame at nobody, but it's time that this needs to be
addressed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you don't want to say nothing about it? All right, cool.
No, I'm had my say. I had my say been happened the last time. But yeah, it is what it is. Well, Caitlin Bob. Her mother represented Bermuda at the 1992 Olympics in Spain. She ran the 100 and 200. Like mother, like daughter. Caitlin competed for the Hartford Technical Institute. They've relocated into the U.S. And after her performance in the 400, got a chance, there was an interview with her. Let's get the interview with Caitlin Bob.
All right, I'm here with Hartford Tech freshman Caitlin Bob. Just won the 2A girls 400 meter dash, 55.8, I believe was the time. New PR for you, I believe.
Yes, it is.
State champion as a freshman. So I just want to start off. Go quick thoughts on how you think the race went.
Okay, well, gotta get out hard, 4 seconds hard, stride around the curve, run the curve well, take your last breath whenever you hit third, 4th curve. Just go for all what you know. Maintain that speed to the finish line.
All right, so 55.80 or 55, I think it was 55.8. New season or new personal best for you. What was sort of the goal coming into this race? Was winning the ultimate goal, or did you have a time goal on your mind?
Well, winning's always. I've always been a winner, and I always wanted to win. But honestly, I honestly wanted to beat the clock. As a freshman, I had to get past 56. 56 is my shot point. I had to get past 56, and I did 58, 55.8.
All right, so had you run coming into high school before, or is this your first season of running?
My first season.
How did you start, and what drew you to run track?
Well, my parents are both track coaches, and I've always done sports, and I've always been born into track, and my mom didn't want me to do track when I was younger. So here I am now, 9th grader, doing track, running well.
So do you think the 400 is your best event?
Yes,
is it what, your favorite event?
I like the 400. I mean, I run the 200 as well, but I prefer the 400.
All right, now again, hot day. We had some runners sort of struggle with the heat out here, but you didn't seem to be phased by it at all. Do you like running in this weather?
Well, key is whenever it's hot, you gotta stay out of the sun because the sun drains your energy. So just go in the tent with a visor, stay hydrated, put sunglasses on, kick up, relax, elevate your legs so the blood can circulate throughout your body.
All right, so what's the goal in the 200 later today? What's the goal in the 200 later today?
Oh, 24.5.
All right. Well, congrats on the win today, and good luck, and good luck rest of the, as you go on in first year of running. So hopefully a lot more state titles.
Well, Jay, yesterday morning, the under 17 girls departed, face USA tomorrow night. Had a training session today. They trained around 3:45, which is the time they will play Costa Rica on Friday. They're playing USA tomorrow at 6. So, we want to wish them all the best in the world. We know it's a tall order. They faced this team a mere 2 years ago. So this is, as the president of the Bermuda Football Association, Mark Wade, said, this is a chance to gauge where you're at.
And let's say that, you know what, we're being around the bush. So let's say, what happened those the last 2 previous meetings?
Well, the last time they played, it was 12-0.
That's right?
Yeah.
And why we're saying this is because, when we don't put these things in context, people's expectations fly through the roof.
Yeah, and I had that conversation too.
And we've got to understand sometimes if you don't know all the information leading up, so that's only going to, and we speak about it all the time when it comes to expectations. We have already passed our expectations.
Yes, thank you very kindly.
We've already
by getting to this point,
we've
exceeded everything.
Right.
Yeah.
So after this is what we call it's just gravy and getting experience. And what he's talking about is basically gauging ourselves off of the last time we played them.
Where are we in 2 years? 2 years on, where are we?
We feel that we've improved.
Yes.
But this would be something telling for us. It won't give us all the answers,
No.
but it will give us a gauge of how we have progressed. Now, we can obviously say, well, gotten to this far, we've done something great. But others will say, you know where we're going to go.
Yeah.
So I would love to tell you girls, look, I'm well behind you 100%.
Yeah.
We know the context that you guys are in right now. We know the situation you're in, and we wish you all the best. Now, all I'm going to tell you, it only takes one girl to win the game.
Hey,
Okay?
that's why you started 0-0.
So I am still waiting for, me personally, I still want a victory.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't care what you do. But if not, I know the what you're up against, and I just wish you all the best.
You got something before we go?
Of course. Well, first of all, I just want to make a disclaimer. My views are my views, not Islandstats views. I just want to make sure, because don't come back at my boy. If you got anything to say to me regarding anything, it's jugglingjay@yahoo.com. Okay, I don't mind sharing my views with anybody.
Yeah.
No, so before we end tonight's show, I just want a special mention of the Clyde Bass golf
tournament on Saturday.
Obviously, you know, when I speak about of Sir Clyde, you know, I always smile because that's the type of vibe he gives off,
Right.
and what they do with raising money for the youngsters to put back in our community. Number one, Clyde and family doesn't have to do this.
Right.
The people that put this on, they don't have to do
Right.
this. And the guys who come out and participate in these things, they don't have to do this. Because it's going for the youngsters. So I just want to say thank you to everybody who participated, right down to the course, the guys who prepared because I'm pretty sure you had some actual work to do.
Yeah, well, construction.
Yeah.
There's a bit of construction out there.
Yeah, so, but no, I just want to thank you guys and everybody behind the scenes who helped out to pull this off. I know they have other things throughout the year, but this is one of those events. I just want to say thank you guys because it is for a great cause.
Yeah. Well, before we go, got a little surprise for Jay.
Uh-oh.
Over the weekend, Islandstats reached 1 million views on YouTube.
Wow.
Just having a sports website doing that, I find that very, very comforting to know that.
I'm still looking at somebody who's gonna look at you 1 million times.
Well,
That's
not just this show, but
That's uncomfortable to know.
Well, you know what? I think it's telling that we're doing something right, and able to provide coverage of multiple sports, multiple events for not just local people, but people around the world to see what Bermuda sports is.
I just want to say thank you on behalf of the public. This has been a vision of yours.
Yes.
And you could have waited for somebody to front it. You could have waited for the money to come in via sponsorship. And that could have been a telling tale every year. But you go out day after day with one thing in mind and one thing in mind only: bringing local sports to our people. And I can tell you numerous days, I'm like, were you two? And then where you going? Do you know how hot it is?
Yeah.
Earl, do you know it's raining? Earl, it's a lot of wind out there. Earl, they're called off that sport. We can go on, and you continuously to do it. So and that's just covering it. You still got to come back and edit it, and then post it to YouTube.
Yeah.
So in saying all of that, I appreciate, because I know what you go through on a day-to-day basis. But for somebody which has basically been a one-man show or one-man we should have a party, because 1 million views is nothing to sneeze about. If you ask any artist who put music up on YouTube, they wish they can get 1 million views on a song. So this is something that you should definitely be proud of. But in saying that, I just hope, I can't wait for the next million and million and million and million.
No, well, me neither. But I do want to say thank you to everyone who's been a part of Islandstats, all the sponsors, you, the viewers. Thank you very much. So have a good night from the Digicel Sports Show.